Good morning, good afternoon. Welcome to the January 9th episode of Hoops Talk with Dave. I'm your host, Dave Smith, and let's get right into it. A quick 10 minutes recapping college basketball in the NBA and also previewing tonight's big-time game. Starting with last night, two massive games down the stretch that were crazy, that were insane. We'll start with Villanova and UConn. Villanova getting a massive quad one win, defending their home floor they needed. They were up by 7 at halftime, up by 12 early in the second half, and they led by 6 with 2 minutes and 22 seconds to go, but didn't score again until a free throw with 1 second to go in the game. UConn had cut the lead to 1. It was 67-66 with 1 minute and 20 seconds to go, and they had a missed three and missed layup, and Alex Karaban going 0 of 2 from the line with 3 seconds left on a controversial foul call, and I can guarantee he won't go 0 of 2 in that situation again. He's that kind of player. So a crazy game down the stretch. Some felt the referees were calling it more towards UConn. With that, Karaban missing 2 free throws, a lot of people had to say, ball don't lie. For Villanova here, though, this puts them right back on the bubble. For UConn, of course, we know they're in position to be another great team this year. They might drop a seed line here if you had on the 3 line. They might fall to the 4. They don't drop 2 seed lines because it was a road game. It was a big-time game. We know how tough winning on the road is. And speaking of winning on the road, let's talk about the Texas A&M Aggies. Down by as many as 18 points in Norman against Oklahoma. No Wade Taylor for them today without their best player, Wade Taylor. They've now won 9 straight games after a big-time 3 late, massive second-half comeback, and a big-time quad 1 win over Oklahoma. That game right there, in my eyes at least, showed me why Texas A&M is a top 15, even higher. It could be top 10, top 12 team in the country. And this is a very, very good Texas A&M team. For Oklahoma, you go 13-0 to start the season. And now they've dropped 2 in a row, 0-2 in SEC play. They'll need to bounce back this weekend. Let's talk about some more road wins here. Alabama, big over South Carolina. I gave credit to South Carolina yesterday because I felt that their home floor would be able to power them. But Mark Sears and the Crimson Tide, they had other ideas. There was a complete domination from start to finish. Alabama big by 20. They've got one of the most complete rosters in the nation. They are definitely a threat to make it deep in March once again. A big road win for Ole Miss and the Rebels. Chris Beard there in Oxford, traveling to Fayetteville to beat Coach Cal and the Razorbacks. And this might be time to click the panic button there in Fayetteville. Ole Miss moves up 1, maybe 2 seed lines. Arkansas down to right smack dab on the bubble. And they've got a big game Saturday hosting AP number 4, Florida. And so this will be a very, very interesting game to watch this weekend. Coach Cal and the Razorbacks, they need a win. They're very talented, obviously, but they've got to start stacking together some big wins. Otherwise, it's all for nothing. All of this, the big hire in the offseason, if you don't make the NCAA tournament in Arkansas with how much the NIL budget that they've been given there, how much Coach Cal is making, you got to at least make the tournaments, and right now they are in jeopardy, without a doubt. Going over to a mid-major conference, the Missouri Valley Drake beating Bradley. These are the top 2 teams in the conference, and we've seen some Missouri Valley teams make some noise in the tournament before. Of course, we remember way back Wichita State making some big noise there when they were in the Missouri Valley Conference, and so this is a conference that you don't want to sleep on. You wouldn't want to face one of those teams in March. They're pushing to try to be a 2-bid league with both of these 2 teams, but I don't think it's going to happen. Nonetheless, Drake going on the road to Bradley after dropping back-to-back games. Big win by 7 there. Speaking of big wins, Illinois. Wow, I mean, this team looks like one of the best teams in college basketball, without a doubt. They are Final Four level at their best, dominate Penn State by 39 points, up to number 7 in the Ken Palm rankings now. This is a really, really fun team to watch play, and they are at their best. They could win a national title, and I don't say that lightly. This is a team that could win it all come March. So something to keep in mind right there. Kansas, big-time second half. Arizona State went into Allen Fieldhouse, was up by 6 at the half. Kansas won the second half by 25, wins the game by 19. Big time for the Kansas Jayhawks. Gonzaga, no hiccup there against 4-11 San Diego. They were able to take care of business. Indiana, big-time win for them over USC. And I say big time lightly. It's big time for them not losing that game, I'll say. It was tied at half. There was some hesitation from Indiana there in the first half. They looked unsettled. Looked like they weren't comfortable with what they were doing. Came out in the second half, looked much better. Were able to pull away there. And let's get to some great games on the docket for tonight in college basketball. We've got Oregon facing off against Ohio State. And we've seen this matchup in football a couple of times. It's really, really good. This one in basketball is going to be great as well. This is a potential second-round matchup as far as the seeds line up, as far as the NCAA tournament looks. Oregon sitting in that top 3 seed area. Ohio State inching up there. They're more in the 7 or 8 range now. Nonetheless, this is going to be a really fun game to watch. Ohio State, a small favorite over Oregon. That's the game of the night right there. But the second best game of the night, I think, without a doubt, is Purdue at Rutgers. And Rutgers needs this game right here. They need to win. They need to see a big resume result. Great opportunity for it with the Boilermakers coming into town. Rutgers, they'll be looking to take care of business tonight. Another game tonight, Washington, the Huskies traveling to East Lansing, Michigan to face off with the Michigan State Spartans in a Big Ten battle, which is still weird to me, seeing Washington travel for a Big Ten battle. That's just me. A very talented Washington team. It would be a quad 3 loss for the Michigan State Spartans, though. But this is a Washington team that they are going to beat a couple of teams they shouldn't. Michigan State a double-digit favorite here. It would be one to keep an eye on. I'm not saying you got to sit there and watch this whole game. There'll be other games that are better across college basketball and the NBA. But this one might be one to keep an eye on. And a quick shout-out here to a mid-major game here, a standalone game this afternoon. If you're bored at work, maybe you have the day off of work, you're looking to catch some good college basketball action. A couple of teams we've seen in the tournament recently. Morehead State facing off against Little Rock. That one's at 2 p.m. Eastern on ESPN+. Now, quickly to the NBA, talking about last night. I told you about the Cavaliers and Thunder facing off, and the Cavs defeat the Thunder, even though Donovan Mitchell only had 11 points. And that is thanks to Evan Mobley and Jared Allen putting up 21 points and 10 rebounds for Mobley, and 25 points, 11 rebounds for Jared Allen. And Shea, 27 shots, only got to the free throw line 4 times, 31 points in those 27 shots. Nonetheless, though, not the most efficient game for SGA there. Kawhi stepping away from the team to be with his family, who had to evacuate from those terrible fires going on in Los Angeles. The Nuggets were able to destroy James Harden's Clippers there. Even though it's the second night of Denver's back-to-back, they looked great there. Milwaukee handling San Antonio there. Giannis and Dame combining for 51 points. Philly on the come-up. We've seen them playing great recently. They had a big Christmas Day win over Boston. They defeat Chicago. They're now only one game back of that 10 seed for the play-in. And some great NBA games on the docket tonight on a little bit of a lighter college basketball schedule. So 4 games I want to hit really quick. The Hawks traveling to Phoenix, play the Suns. Of course, we got Bradley Beal coming off the bench for Phoenix now. Atlanta coming off the big Trae Young half-court buzzer beater. That'll be a fun one to watch. Houston playing Memphis, 2 young teams that are extremely get up and down the court. Very fun to tune into. We want to check that one out there. Minnesota taking on Orlando. Orlando, number 4 seed in the East right now. Not a lot of people talking about him. Paolo Banchero making his return soon. This is a fun team to watch out for, and not one that I would want to face off with in the playoffs. And finally, last game I want you to check out tonight, the Warriors and Pistons. That's right, I did say the Pistons, and that is the Pistons with a record over 500. They've won 5 straight games. They're 19-18. This is the best Detroit has looked in a long time, a long, long time. And they've won 5 straight games, looking to make it 6 tonight against Steph Curry and the Warriors. And to close today, I want to give a quick shout-out to Dick Vitale. Everybody, we all love him. It is incredible. He's an incredible member of the college basketball community, very famous Hall of Fame ESPN analyst and announcer. He announced on X that his vocal cords are now clear of cancer, and he will be returning courtside soon to call some college basketball games this season. No announcement yet from ESPN on when that will be or what game it will be. But nonetheless, Dick Vitale, we are so excited to see you get back to calling basketball games. We know how much you love it, and I hope you know how much we love having you courtside calling those games. And that will do it for today's episode of Hoops Talk with Dave. I'd like to thank you all for joining us on day 2 of this podcast. Going to be some terrific basketball today. Look forward to having you back here tomorrow.